First, I've started at the view. Once you log into CoreMI, you should see a list of clients that you've recently seen under My Sessions. And each client, you can see their name right here, when their last appointment was. And if you drop down, you can see all of the appointments under that person. So next to each recording, you will have delete, which is to mark videos that you don't want to be a part of the research or that you don't think should be on Counseling Center servers. The next button, transcribe or transcription complete, we don't ever need to press this transcribe button. Instead, we'll be only viewing those that say transcription complete. The audios will be sent through the transcription pipeline automatically. It's not something that we can do manually. The next button is archive. Archive is for those students that may need to show clips of their session with for class participation or specifically that they want to save for supervision. The videos for the Counseling Center are deleted automatically every 4 months. If you don't want that to happen, you press archive. And then it tells you that you're archived. And finally, you hit play to watch the video as it occurs. And this will take you to the video and annotation and transcription screen. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. Here we have our video comments, and transcription page. The first thing you'll notice is the video with the timeline scrubber underneath. You can press play for the video there, and over here you can expand it to full screen if you want to take a closer look. You can click on the scrubber to fast forward to points. And you'll notice these are little time-stamped comments. Once you make a comment that's associated with a time, it shows up as a red line, and you can hover over it to see what the comment is. In order to make a general comment, you just type here, I am making a general comment, save note, and then you can see it at the bottom of the list of comments. If you want to make a timestamp comment, you might do something like click on it right there, turn the timestamp on, and write timestamp here. When you save it, it is shown at the bottom along with the timestamp. And you can click on the timestamp to jump to that location. On the right side of the web page, you have a transcript. It identifies the therapist and the patient. It's scrollable, and you can click on the therapist or the patient name to jump to where that speaking turn is in the session. You can also search the transcript. I'm going to search for mom because we talked about family in this pretend session. On the right, after I've searched, you can see the locations in the scrolling transcript of where mom was stated. There's one, and you can click on it and it jumps right to it. Let's go down to the next one and click on it, and you can see. So you like the support, but you can find that support from other people, your mom. Lastly, on this page, I want to show you the show report. This is where you get your motivational interviewing, behavior codes, and feedback dashboard just by clicking show report. On this page, we have all of the codes that the computer is coding therapist speech for. You have an overall motivational interviewing fidelity score, which is how much of your behaviors are motivational interviewing behaviors. You have an MI adherence score, which basically means are you up to are all of your behaviors up to the kind of recommended amount for MI therapy. Here you have MI not adherent behaviors, so behaviors like confront or advise or direct. And right below that you have an overall empathy score for the session, and you can see here that you have kind of basic proficiency and advanced proficiency. So these are kind of goals that you can shoot for if you're trying to increase the amount of empathy in your sessions. On the right side you have a scrolling fisheye timeline of the session, and you can see speaker turns. Therapist is green, client is gray. And you can hover over each speaking turn and get a sense of who said what where. You can also, when you hover over the therapist's speaking turn, you can see at the bottom of the speech associated with that speaking turn is the code that the computer assigned that speaking turn for the therapist. So for this one, it would be facilitate. Below you have percent talk time of therapist versus client, and for this particular practice session I spoke about 40% and the client spoke about 60%. Over here you have percent of open-ended questions versus closed-ended questions. So of all the questions that you asked, what percent were open-ended questions? In this session was 86%. Over here you have a reflection to question ratio, and you have for every 2.5 reflections you asked a question in this chart. And finally over here, out of all the reflections that you made, this is the percent of complex reflections. So for this one it was 22%. And that's it. If you want to get back to looking at the session, you press show session, and if you want to get back to your list of clients, you press back to my sessions.